In this video, let's try to understand the third grant type that we have inside OAUTH2 flow, which is resource owner credentials grant type. So before going into the details, I just wanted to give a scenario where both the auth server and resource server and client, everything belongs to same organization. Like my bank, which is Easy Bank application, if they have multiple independent applications where they're maintaining different details like loans, cards, and accounts. But since the customer is common for all of them, they decided to implement the authentication logic and authorization logic in a separate server called authorization server. Like as an user, I'll go to either loans application or cards application or accounts application. If I click login, if we follow previous grant types like authorized grant type and implicit grant type, the client will redirect me to the auth server where I have to enter my credentials. But that looks very peculiar to me or annoying to me for multiple redirects because it's not making sense, right? I go to Easy Bank application and why it is redirecting me to other URL where I have to enter credentials. So in such scenarios where we have auth server, resource server and all clients belongs to same organization, to avoid multiple redirects and to give some good experience to the user, we don't redirect the user to the auth server. So due to this reason, whenever user went to some application like loans application, there will be a login page. And again, I will not be asked like you'll be redirected to auth server where you have to enter your credentials because auth server also belongs to the same organization. So I'll enter my credentials on the loans application login page. My client application will capture my username and password and it will send that request to the auth server in the backend without redirect experience to the user. And this perfectly makes sense, right? Because even the auth server also belongs to me only, my organization, and I can completely believe my client and auth servers that they won't misuse the user details that they received from the resource owner. So for such instances, we use resource owner credentials grant type. Let's try to see what is the flow here. First, the user will go to the client application and he will directly give, here are my credentials in the login page. Next, the client application, it will send the request to one of the auth server, like here are the user details or resource owner details. Please validate and provide me an access token. Once auth server validated the credentials, it will provide a token to the client. And in the last two steps, the client will make a request to the resource server by providing the token which it received from the authorization server. If the token is valid, the resource server will provide the resources requested by the client. As you can see, in the step 2, where we are making a request to the authorization server for generating an access token, the client has to generate a request with all these following parameters. One is the client ID and client secret, which belongs to the application that we are trying to log in, whether it's a loan application or cards application or accounts application. So every application will have a different client ID and client secret, which can be used by the auth server to identify from which client I am getting the request so that we can use them for auditing purpose as well. Next is the scope, like similar to authorities. And third one is a very important one, username and password. The client itself now holds the username and password. The reason is the client application and auth server, they both belongs to same organization. Due to this reason and to avoid that redirect effect to the user, we are sharing the username and password that we received from the login page of the client to the auth server directly. And the last one, grant type, where we have to tell with the value of string password, which indicates that my application want to follow resource owner or user credentials grant type. Again, to reiterate, this resource owner credentials grant type will be used only if the client, authorization server and the resource servers are maintained by the same organization. Like many organizations, they have multiple sub applications or multiple internal applications where They will isolate all their authorization and authentication logic to separate server called auth server, and all these multiple applications that organization is maintaining. They will make a request to the auth server to generate a token, but they don't redirect, and all this will happen only in the backend. And one of the primary reason why we are using this grant type is to give a better experience to the user by avoiding multiple redirects, since all these applications belongs to the same organization. With this, I'm assuming that now you have clear understanding what is resource owner credentials grant type in OAuth2 flow. In next video, we will discuss about client credentials grant type. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye.